Now at 6, this is Fox 61, Connecticut's news station.
Good evening. Thanks for joining us here on the Fox 61 News at 6. I'm Sarah Sanchez. Parents in Cheshire are facing new transportation challenges this school year. A rise in elementary school enrollment numbers means some students who used to ride the bus may have to find other ways to get to school. Fox 61's Jamel Johnson explains why the district says it's running out of space, and we'll tell you what's being done to fix the problem.
For years in Cheshire, it was not a question whether your child would be able to ride the bus. But this upcoming school year, some parents are learning that their child's seat is no longer guaranteed. Yellow buses in Cheshire are rolling toward the first day of school, but not every student who's used to riding will be on board. Jeffrey Solon, superintendent at Cheshire Public Schools, says rising enrollment in elementary schools means there aren't enough seats for everyone who qualifies for transportation.
This enrollment growth is impacting the availability of open seats for people who live in the walking zone to be able to get an extra seat that's available on a regularly scheduled bus.
Cheshire buses serve K through 6 students who live more than 1 mile away and 7 through 12 students more than 1.5 miles away. Families who live under a mile are classified as walking distance. But in June, some parents within walking distance were told their children may not be guaranteed a seat on the bus this year.
Those available seats may not be guaranteed the same way they have been in the past. So we've been holding off that decision until after school starts to make sure we can guarantee a seat for everybody who lives outside of the walking area.
Solon says families can file an available seat petition. This petition has been around for a decade and it helps accommodate those walking distance students with bus transportation. But the district says this time spots are no longer guaranteed, and instead the school district will assess what neighborhoods would benefit the most from bus transportation.
We do guarantee some petitions. It depends on where you live, what the bus situation looks like in that area. But there are certainly neighborhoods where we don't feel comfortable yet saying, okay, there will definitely be an open seat for you.
Solon says there's been mixed responses from parents about the decision. He says some parents have been understanding while others are expressing discomfort with facing the reality of their kids walking to school.
Most middle school families feel much more comfortable having their child walk a greater distance than an elementary family does. And sometimes they bring up a legitimate concern about traffic or something. At this point, if we're going to say no, it's really let's wait and see rather than just no.
2 new larger elementary schools are already under construction to help with the spike in enrollment, but they won't be ready until fall of 2026. Until then, if they aren't granted a bus seat, parents will have to find alternative ways to get their kids to class. The district tells me they'll continue monitoring ridership for this upcoming school year, but until those 2 new schools are finished, these transportation woes could stick around until then. In Cheshire, Jamel Johnson, Fox 61.
Well, get ready to sweat and turn on your AC, of course. Connecticut's getting hit with another heat wave. Chief Meteorologist Rachel Frank is here with the first check of the forecast. Yeah, it was toasty out there, Rachel.
Yeah, we did hit 90 degrees today, making this day 1 of our heat wave. However, this is a lot more manageable of a heat wave than some of our previous ones. We don't have oppressive humidity in place. It's not too bad out there. We aren't going to see record heat. Yay, but we're still sweating as we head through the coming days. This is day 1. We've got 2 more days to go, maybe 3, depending on how Thursday goes. But either way, it is going to be a warm stretch ahead. We're dealing with very warm temperatures right into early next week. The dew point, though, is down at the bottom of the scale. It's comfortable right now in Hartford with dew points in the 50s. 60s for the shoreline, though, where it's feeling a little bit more humid, but again, not oppressive. Overnight lows will be in the 60s as we head towards daybreak, so not as cool as it has been the last few nights and mornings. Heading through the afternoon, again, we're up near 90 degrees with 80s at the beaches. We'll take a closer look at your forecast, how long the heat sticks around, and timing out the chance for storms coming up. Sarah.
Thank you, Rachel. Well, anytime we're coming up on a heat wave, you'll hear us talk about calling 211. So operators at United Way take those calls and they help you find heat relief resources in town. But what actually goes into keeping up with all those calls, and how do they get ready for hot weeks like this? Fox 61's Solene Arif gives us a peek behind the curtain.
These days, it can be hard to find anything that's open 24/7. But the United Way chapter I spoke with tells me you can call 211 at 2 a.m. or 2 p.m. and someone will always be ready to help you. 211 exists for people like Bobby Dickens. He grew up in Hartford, moved away, and now he's back.
Growing up, it wasn't as bad as it is now.
He says the weather has been pretty much unbearable this summer.
I don't see the EMTs walking around here, taking people in the ambulance and stuff like that. So you really got to stay mindful of this weather, you know what I mean? Be very dangerous.
That's why he tries to stay inside his house with the AC running as much as possible. But United Way of Connecticut's president and CEO tells me not everybody can afford to do that, and that's if they have the option of an AC unit.
So we do worry about folks who may be vulnerable in terms of their health and also worried about electrical costs. So maybe not using their air conditioning even during this heat.
Lisa Tepper Bates says they have a team of specialists on standby working around the clock to find every single resource in the state to share with everyone who calls them or everyone who visits their website.
A lot of community service providers are small and doing the best they can with the resources they have. Their website may or may not be updated as frequently as we wish. So we try to make sure that our 211 database is as accurate as possible.
She says between their website and their phone lines, more than 10,500 people have called in or clicked online this summer between their 3 activations for extreme heat. Whether you need a place to stop and rest or need a place to refill a water bottle.
I have it right now. I'm about to fill it up at the library before I go in.
They're working with police departments, state agencies, and local municipalities to find and share every single cooling center in the state.
In this very hot weather. And there are over 200 cooling centers that have been stood up by towns and cities across Connecticut.
Now, some centers might have limited hours or availability, so it's always a good idea to check before heading out there. Reporting in Hartford, Celine Air, Fox 61.
A man's charged with burglary. Police say he broke into 2 Groton liquor stores in May. Investigators say Javon Young smashed the glass doors at Bridge Package Store and stole cash. Then in June, the same thing happened at Happy Groton Wine and Spirits. Young is now charged with burglary, criminal mischief, and larceny. He's being held on a $100,000 bond. A 16-year-old worker is recovering after being trapped under a sweeper bar at a Windsor Locks bowling alley. Police say this happened yesterday afternoon at spare time. The teen was clearing a lane when the bar came down, pinning them. They reportedly couldn't even breathe. Co-workers lifted that bar and called 911. The teen was rushed to the hospital. Police say OSHA has been notified and the incident is under investigation. It's been nearly a year since flooding rains overwhelmed the community in Oxford and surrounding towns. So many businesses were affected by those rising waters. As the cleanup, though, continues, one family-owned destination is working to literally get the ball rolling again just off the Little River. Fox 61's Jim Altman has more from Old Sawmill Miniature Golf and the family who's fighting back from the floods.
And due to those flooding rains, nothing in the Oxford area has been par for the course, not for the past year. But for this family-owned business, the rebuild is definitely on.
It was horrible, a horrible sight, just like a gut punch, what water could do.
It was devastating. The main thing that I remember is picking my grandfather up and bringing him down here, seeing his 30 years worth of work destroyed.
While their business model is built on how to get around barriers, no one could have predicted the types of obstacles that Jocelyn and Jared have encountered over the past year.
I was just getting texts and videos, and before I knew it, I had a video of our golf shack going downriver. 30 years of memories were just washed away.
Their family business, Old Sawmill Miniature Golf, 3 decades old, was washed away in just hours by the relentless rains from last August's floods. Each day since has been dedicated to getting back in the game, with community cleanups and now a road to recovery.
So we've been working hard. We have new carpeting. All of the carpeting got peeled up from the flood. We have new walkways. Our bridge that had a horse trailer on it during the flood has been rebuilt. We got a new golf shed.
We had craters in the ground, and now we have a usable surface. It's been a lot, but we're getting it done.
We've had so many great companies from the community who have helped us. We had a day where we had the community just come with wheelbarrows and anything to just help us rebuild.
What's around the corner? Hopefully, the chance to get around the corners again.
You can see the finish line. We're almost there. It's just going to take us a little bit longer, but progress is always a good thing.
We just want to see happy, smiling faces and memories being made again.
And so the rebuild here continues. The hope is they will have a grand opening celebration next Memorial Day. In Oxford, Jim Altman, Fox 61.
And next Monday, on the 1-year anniversary of this storm, join us on Fox 61 Plus for a 30-minute special on the flooding. We're speaking with families who lost it all and community members who came through to help. That will air Monday, August 18th at 7 p.m. only on Fox 61 Plus. Download Fox 61 Plus on your TV and watch for free.